Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Appalachian Prospecting. I'm your host, Wayne Thornton. Been prospecting these brooks for over 40 years. I've used everything from a spoon to a pan and I've found gold. So stay tuned and watch our show and like, share, and subscribe too. Thanks. We appreciate that. Today we're going to be talking about a river course. It's a 44-mile river course. It starts way up in Timoth, Vermont and ends in Lake Champlain, known as East Bay, and it's called the Poultney River. There are certain spots that I've pinpointed throughout the years that have better gold than others. And I've kind of noticed throughout the time that after learning geology quite heavily, that a lot of this nanoparticle gold that you find here is associated with the quartz beds that are associated with the West Castleton schist. And that's an important time because the West Castleton schist was thrusted up during the Cambrionic time. And if you know geology and know anything about gold, you'll know that the Cambrionic time was a time for gold. So it's kind of fun today. We're talking about contacts. Contacts are different than faults. Contacts are when two rock bodies come together and thrust and move around, and quartz lubricates the faults and whatnot. There's a particular quartz vein that you're going to see in here that I've actually broken pieces off, brought them home, broke them up, and I put the sample little pieces that I have in like these little jars, and I compare because I want to see. And I'm going to tell you what, them little tiny specks, I call them micro fly poops, but they're small. They're still visible to the human eye though, and they're pretty, and they're very, very gold color. And you're going to see them today in this film. So I hope everybody's liking the film. No more jaw-jacking. Let's get to the first episode of Wayne on the Water, and this is called The Contacts. Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Appalachian Prospecting. I'm your host, Wayne Thornton. Been prospecting these brooks for over 40 years. And when I do a little bit of geological work, I go looking for other things. And today I'm just on a scout mission, and I found it pretty easily because I knew it was here. Today we're going to be talking about faults and contacts, but today we're going to be talking about a contact, and this is called the Old Knob contact. Yes, I'm over in Poultney, Vermont. I'm on the Poultney River, 44-mile water course that starts way up in Timoth and ends at Lake Champlain, called East Bay. So when I'm looking for this stuff, I go to my geological maps and I study them, and I try to look to see where any of these faults or contacts have crossed the river. And sure enough, I found some today. So I'm going to just switch the camera. Check this out. See how this all has been fragmented, faulted, crushed. Hundreds of layers of, I mean, this is basically a crevicer's paradise right here. I mean, just check it out. Really, really cool. I'm going to try to get down there without killing myself so you can have a little bit better look. Okay. See how all of this stuff will just break apart nice and easy? Okay. Down in there is ancient gold hiding, and I know it is. All right, so come on over here. Check out this quartz vein. Look at that. Just gleaming right there in the water, rolled right up on itself. Big one right here. Now remember, quartz is a lubricant for the faults and contacts. So this contact comes all the way from the Old Knob formation up by, I guess that would be in between Finnell Hollow and Morris Hollow. Look at how this is carved. This river has carved this out. Now this river is really low comparatively. This river is usually up and rolling pretty hard. I mean, look at this. It's crazy in here. Look at this deep crevice right here. I don't know if you guys can see down into the water. Check this out. Look at this. Crazy how deep this cavern is. The trout in here are huge too. They hide underneath these big crevices like this. They'll go right in there and hide. I've seen them. Don't like trash. That shit pisses me off. Come on, pick up your trash and get it the fuck out of here. We don't need to pick up other people's trash. Alright, so that was a little scenic view of this. As you can see, everything's sliced up, faulted from east to west. See it right here? All these layers. Like I said, the Poultney River doesn't produce large amounts of gold, but you can come and have a pretty damn good day if you'd like, just to get outside the eastern flank bund. So we're going to be playing around. I've got a couple other places to check on. So hold tight. So check this out, guys. Alright. So here's the main river that comes out of a field. This gets pretty flat and just runs flat for about a half a mile up through there. Makes a turn right there, comes right down. Check out these rocks, how smooth they are. Look at this. That's as smooth as the baby's ass right there. Okay? Now if you can see how hard this body is? Hard. Okay, look at the quartz vein right there, popping right up out of the river. Look at that. Huge. Runs right down through. Okay? Solid. But when you get up into here, look at this. Right back into this. This is probably the contact right here, where it contacted the other formation. Now, a contact just means you got two rock bodies that are touching one another. Okay, this is not a fault. I will show you a fault in the next video, because this is what our whole little learning excursion is going to be, is faults, contacts, and quartz veins. Check out this big ore body right here. Look at this. Pops up here, goes up over this, drops over the other side. It's just, it's crazy how our Earth did all of this. Let me get over here so you guys can see that really big quartz vein. Look at this, right that down in there. See it right there? All rusty, crazy through here. I have worked over in there, right there in that area before. I found some flakes, but nothing great. You got to understand that the gold that is coming out of these quartz veins are Carlin trend style, which is like micro poop. I mean, when you see it in your pan, it's very tiny. You got to take your time to get the gold out of these veins. And I have crushed this stuff, as most of you guys know if you've watched my channel before. I have crushers, and I have crushed this stuff before. And without a doubt, there was some gold in there. Are you going to get rich? Nope. Check that out. Look at that. The iron staining coming right out of there. And that vein runs like this. Right up through. Whoop. It's crazy. Remember, quartz is the lubricant for the fault. Or, I'm sorry, for the contact. So you got all these little pockets, and you can see there's no reason to come and play with some of these because they're all washed out. They're completely washed out. So what we're looking for is where some of it got like thrown over, like this rock, and dropped right there. Because this river, when it gets pissed, it's crazy dangerous. As you can see, the width of this river is pretty good size. Like I said, we're in low water right now, so, you know. Well, I guess I'm going to grab my pan and my shovel and start running around and quit all this jaw jacking. I hope everybody's enjoying the channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. You won't be able to see this footage. Our geologist in our club, Jeffrey Slade, I've got him coming out on our next video, and we're going to do a little riding around and checking out some really cool shit. So stay tuned, and we'll see if we can find. Be back in a bit. Alright guys, so I came up a little bit further to the dog leg. This is what we call this, where it makes a complete L. Now as you can see, there's gravels right here, bedrock right there. See how all this bedrock kind of runs the same way. So if I was going to waste some time, I would dig right here. But I want everybody to realize that when this river gets really pissed, this is going to become all new material. Okay? It's going to get washed right down the river, right down into that big giant hole that I was talking about when I come up first. And I showed you where everything was fractured. All right. So if you're a crevicer and you're standing here, what I always do is I walk away from the whole formation and say, where would I look? I mean, where would I look? Okay, so look at here. So everybody's going to start like up here and play around with this stuff. Look at how the water acts like a funnel through here and right here. See that V? Okay. Yes, the water does get really riley and ranking down through here, and of course it slips right across the bedrock because the bedrock's right here, and the river actually makes a turn and heads completely this way, and this formation comes up so high, this is called high bedrock, that there's another tiny little river behind here when the river is moving a lot. So that's something that you really got to pay attention to. Should I check over there by that tree? Yes. Should I check here and around the corner? Yes. Should I check there? Well, let's go over and take a look at that one. All right, look at this. Mother Nature's little funnel way. See the little ditch coming right in? Right into here. And a big rock acting as a dam right here. Okay, then from there it could very easily take off and go down into them pockets. Now another fun thing that you can do if you're extremely bored out of your gourd, or you just got here and you got a lot of energy, is you go pocket crevicing. Just go run the pockets and see what's in them. You'd be surprised. You know, grass like this, I like it if it's down further near the ground, but most of the time it just gets washed out. There's a spot up right there. See all that grass? What I do is I pull up the grass root and I take the goodies out from underneath it and put the grass root back down on. I used to pull them and shake them and all that. I don't do that no more. Some of this moss right here, don't pull the moss, it's illegal. But if you just pull that green shit right there and pull that down a little bit, reach in there and grab that goodie, see what's in there. But I think our first pan is going to be right out of this, because check this out. You know damn well the river makes a dog leg right here. You can see it coming straight and then whoop, takes off this way. New deposits, older deposits. Now the only reason why I think these get blown out of here is because when this river gets pissed, I think it deposits new material. But what I like is that boulder right there. So hold your pants on, let's take a look. So I just uncovered something that's kind of cool. So you see how this rock right here, how washed and clean it looks? And then you get off over here, it's all packed. Same way on this side right here, it's all packed. This is the agitation zone, okay? This is where the water comes right through here, makes that turn. It's got to try to go somewhere, so everything down here becomes turbulent. Okay, kind of like the gold traps and all them, and the fluid beds and the riffles that are in a sluice box. Well, wouldn't you think this is about the same thing? Shoo! Everything's going to take a dive. So what I like doing is I like getting more off the drop, meaning right here. If gold's going to make it up this ramp right here, it's going to drop immediately. Because there's going to be a weird rotation here. There's a weird name to it. I don't know what the fuck it is, so whatever. Electio effect or alluvial, whatever. It drops down in. So where I'm going to be looking is right here, and what I really like is kind of cool is to see this zone right here where the water's running in. I mean, you can actually see it. How we pull back, you see the water. Yeah, see it? See how clean these are compared to over here? This is all packed. All right, so there you go. Little lesson right there to be learned. All right, so another thing I do is when I'm working a little pocket like this to get down to the bottom to take a peek-weeky, and I know everything's been agitated good, so the shit's going to be on the bottom, but I put it in a pile. I don't throw it. I don't do any of that, because guess what? If you start finding 4, 5, 6 big flakes in there, you may want to take a look. But more than likely, the gold's going to be ground up here because of the water turbulence. So it makes it even funner on the Poultney River. Not only are you playing with nanoparticles, you're going to be playing with microparticles. But anyways, let's see if we can't find something. Hold on. Alright guys, this is the result of that 2 shovelfuls. Okay? Look at how tiny particleized that gold is. Look at it. Okay? Try to get down a little closer so you can see some of the yellow. As we get up there, them two are a little better, way up in the corner up here. They're not bad at all, right there and there. Then you can see there's quite a few small ones along here. But these are that's that ultra fine gold that I was talking about earlier. We found bigger flakes in here than that. So I'm going to take a walk up to a little gravel bar, and then I'm going to sample some of the moss coming back down through and take a peek. So, okay, so we were successful with that. Check that out, huh? So, as I said, I stood here, kind of look at where the water drains into, where it's pools. I mean, that's a pretty big pool right here if you look at this one. The water came in, but it's stacked, so that probably means that this isn't very deep. It's not deep compared to that one. I'll probably come back and do a couple more out here. I'll let you know. I'd like to get, like I said, more back up into here, which I will do. I'll just kind of fan it down and get back there. So as you can see, I just put my dirt right there out of the way, because if I want to come back and mine this, I can drop in anything right there. I mean, I got all the current I need. Complete dog leg. Right into a huge freaking contact with rock sticking right up. The erosion that must have happened down through here. There were 2 glacier dams that I've identified. I'm sure there's more because, you know, I just do roadside geology and do the best I can. But there was a big glacier dam up here. There's a 1,000-foot mountain that hides up here behind this. We're kind of like down in the valley, so we can't see it. There's a huge, huge drumlin that goes around it. And I have a feeling that's where the first one was, because out here in this opening, there's a big field. And that's usually a big floodplain of shit that come through a dam. So, all right, well, I'm going to stop running my mouth and we'll go up and check out that gravel bar. Hold tight. So as I was going to take my shovel and walk upstream a little bit, I found a little something. My shovel was caught like right here. This big old quartz rock right here was hiding right there. Check this out. Waterway, troughway comes through, drops right into here or here, agitates. What's down there? So I think I'm going to hold tight before I take off, because that goes down quite a ways. And this is all going to be stuff that's hidden in there. And I'll go through it and see what's there. So I think we're going to hold tight on going upstream. We're going to take a little better look at this crack and go from there. Hold your pants on. We'll be right back. Hey guys, I want to show you something. Look at this. See all them fish down there? If us miners were hurting and destroying the environment, why would they all be here? You know why they're here? Because they're coming in for food. Look at them all. Hundreds of them. Look at this. Okay? And this is just me cleaning out my pan on a cobble rock surface, and they all know what's associated with dirt and gravel. And that's their food. Isn't that cool? Check that out, huh? Look at how curious they are. Come right up to see what my finger's doing. Isn't that cool? Look at this one. Hey man, what's going on? Yeah, us recreational prospectors are destroying the environment. Yeah. So not to get off subjects with fault and contacts, but look at this, guys. This is a perfect view of what you should be looking for in a gravel bar. See all these big giant stones right here? Lined right up? That means heavies fell out there. Okay? This side over here is a little cobbly. This side over here is just all about the same size rocks, as you can see. Okay? But you notice these get bigger. And as you walk up the beach a little bit, you'll notice that the receding terrace is right here. Okay, so your heavies are going to be right in this area right here. So what I like doing is I like digging a little trench across like this and taking a peek. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Hold tight and let's see if we can't find something here. Alright guys, now that I've got this cut across, I took out as many big rocks as I could. But I want to get right down here so you guys can actually see this. Actually, I'll do it over here. Okay. Can you see the high bank right here? I'll try to get even down a little further. High, big cobbles, goes down to sands. And you can see it right here in the gravel that I'm digging. Okay, so my little line starts out with this. This is the lower terrace. Get into the mid terrace where all the big stuff dropped out, bigger rocks. And then you get up into here, and this is a lighter type sandy, smaller rocks. Kind of cool. So what I do is I'll do a pan from this district, a pan from here, and a pan from there, and I'll know exactly where my gold is going to come from if there is any on this bar, which I'd probably say there is probably a microfine here or there. But we'll take a look. Hold tight. Go pop up some popcorn, and let's get ready to see some gold, hopefully. Alright guys, well, the first lower test hole tested positive. There's a piece right there. There's a couple smaller pieces there, and there's one up here. Alright, and all this light pixie dust right here, that's all micro fly poop. I usually don't take that. I give it back to the gold gods. But we're going to take that one because that's a decent piece for the Poultney River. Yes, sir. Try to get there and swoop, gonzo. Alright. So what I'm starting to see is that because of the gold is relatively small in this river, I think it's flowing with this type of sand right here. We're going to check the cobbles next, the second layer up, like I said. We're going to check right in there. So hold on, let's do number 2. Alright guys, so now you can see how I came into the second cut, and look at how the gold's getting a little bit better. So remember how I chopped that up and I said out, mid, upper? This is the second part. The gold isn't getting too bad now. For the Poultney River, this is respectable gold. So I'm going to dig that other one and let's see what we get out of that one. Hold on one second. Alright, well that got a whole lot better. Looks like up where that heavier rock is, look at what we got out of there. I ran a 5-gallon bucket. That's all I run. If I don't find shit, I move. I don't play games and dig and scratch and tear up the banks. I just move along. That's not bad at all. That's a pretty good Poultney River day right there. Well, actually, no. I got a little bit more in the snuffer bottles. So let me put you on pause and I'll give you what we got for the whole day. I left here. I got there about 10 o'clock and we're coming out now at about 1:30 because my belly's starting to growl and my stomach's getting low on Advil. So, hold on one second, guys. So there you go, guys. That's a grand total of the Poultney River. As you can see, everything's pretty well flattened. That one isn't bad right there. That's a pretty good piece. Actually, for the Poultney River, that's kind of nice. But on the most of the time, you're going to find your nanoparticles, like this stuff up in here. That's pretty much what you're going to find. But you do get into little crunchies here and there, and I just happen to get into it today. But this is total from crevicing and that dirt cut that I make. Always check your cuts, guys. And if you have to go up to gravel bars 2 or 3 times and check them, that's fine. Cut yourself down to half a 5-gallon bucket. Don't stay in one area too long if you're not finding some cheddar, because it's just a waste of time, guys. You know, there's different deposits in Vermont. We've got some lode gold. We've got glacier gold. We've got all kinds of goody. This stuff over here in the Taconics are definitely, I would say, 99% glacier. But I have a sneaking suspicion that them little tiny flecks that are in there, them little suckers right there, I have seen in some of the quartz beds when I went looking at the West Castleton schist, and I brought it home, crushed it all up, and I put it underneath my scope. I got a pretty powerful scope that I use. I used to use them Tom Loves and all that, but I got rid of them because they are nice, but they're awful blurry with gold because of them LED lights. I like using incandescent lights on my new one, and this thing's a killer. You can actually plug it right into a computer and see it right on your computer screen too, so kind of cool. But I think them little tiny suckers right there are coming off the micro fly poop. I think that's coming off the West Castleton schistry, because the West Castleton schistry pops up a couple times down through this water course. And when the West Castleton schist overthrusted and came up, it was during Cambrian time. And if people know anything about gold, they'll know that the Cambrionic time was a very hot zone going in your tectonic plating and whatever was going on. I'm sure Jeff could get into it and tell us. We're going to try to get him off his duff to get us some geology day with us. Should be pretty fun. I think we'll bounce around. We won't be just talking about gold and the geology. We're going to he's going to show us some cool stuff. I've been in contact with him. He's pretty busy right now, so soccer's going, so he's been helping out. So, all right, guys. So there you go. That's your first day of Wayne on the Water. Don't forget that a contact is two rock bodies that come together. Okay. A fault is when the earth actually opened up and did some movement. So our next video, we're going to try to find a nice open fault for you guys to see, so you can see the difference. And you will notice the difference big time, especially over here in the tectonics. If you want to learn faults and thrusts and reverse thrust fault, we live in the area for it. So we're going to show you a fault. And so Wayne on the Water, episode 1, we're done. Thanks.